We now have our Mongo database wired up to the Flask application, and we are now in a position where our documents are displaying on the screen via the template, although we only have one document at this point. It's time to do a little bit of refactoring. What we are going to do is to create a parent template for all of our views, or templates, which are essentially the HTML files. To do that, we need to create a new file within the templates directory called base.html. The base template will contain all main references to our external files and third-party libraries for JavaScript and CSS that we'll use across the entire application. Sometimes, though, there will be exceptions to this, and we'll need to add specific functionality only to a child template, which we'll discuss later. Let's create a generic HTML boilerplate using HTML:5, then tab, and once again, we'll update the title to read Task Manager. The point of a base template is so you don't have to repeat yourself, which is a philosophy within framework development such as Flask and Django. In order to do this, we'll create an opening block element. The block keyword is required, and the name that you give your block can be pretty much anything, using underscores to make longer block names. The standard convention for the main section of your site is to call the block content. Be sure to include your closing end block element as well. Just above the block element, let's add an h1 tag that will read, I'm part of the base template. We'll see how this works in a moment, but essentially it's to demonstrate functionality outside of the child block tags, but within the base template. Save the file, and then let's head back over to our original tasks.html file. Our goal now is to inject the contents of this page directly into our base template block element. We no longer need the core boilerplate elements, so we can remove all of the body, head, and HTML tags. The only thing we need to retain is our Jinja for loop of tasks from the database. In order to display this from within our base template, we need to extend this file from the base.html, wrapped in quotes. Then, we need to tell the base template which block element we're injecting our code into, and in our case, it's block content. Again, be sure to always include your closing end block. When you save the file, you might see a warning on the first line. Doc type must be declared first. You can ignore this, because the linter doesn't know how to properly read templating languages like Jinja, but since we're extending the base template, our doc type is inherited from our base. We'll further demonstrate how this works by adding an h2 element into our child template for tasks. I'm extending the base template. Save everything, and then run your app using Python 3 app.py in the terminal, but I've still got mine running here. After reloading the live preview, you can see everything from both the base template as well as our injected tasks template. The h1 comes from our parent template base.html, and then using the block content, the tasks.html file is injected onto the page as well. It's important to note that the name of your block elements need to be consistent. Let's test this out by changing the block name from content to something else, for example, stuff. We'll change it on both pages, then save them and reload the live preview. As you can see, nothing has changed, and that's because the block name is consistent. What happens if we only change one block element, for example on the tasks file, back to content, but leave it as stuff on the base template? Well, when you save and reload the preview page now, you can only see the h1, and that's because it can't find a matching block element to inject our other template. These are called silent errors, which can be frustrating because there's no actual error displayed on the page. Let's correct that back to block content and save the change. Then refresh the page to ensure it's working again. Wonderful, that's all connected just fine, and injecting our child template into the parent or base template. Let's go ahead and push our change to GitHub. Git add -A, git commit -m, create base template, then finally git push, and clear the screen for our next video.